what we're looking at for Main Street is the city is wanting to know what Main Street should look like in the future. How should it function? How should it operate as far as providing pedestrian access? How does it connect to trails? How does it connect to other business areas within the city? So those types of questions are really important so you can develop a good vision of what you want to do on Main Street. We have an online survey that is available, and the city will be sending out additional information on that we want to hear from the residents and businesses regarding those very things. How do they define the downtown area? Is the downtown to certain people right on Main Street, or is it over there on 10th North, or is it across the way on the east side of Highway 6? Those are some really important questions that we want to know, because that helps define how people think of the downtown area, and then you can take those steps to figure out how it functions, how it should operate, to hopefully make it easily walkable, easy to get around, easy to park, and very accessible and very inviting at the same time. We're at a stage right now where there aren't specific changes suggested. But we are looking at things such as what type of landscaping, what type of streetscape. So should there be benches? What types of trash cans? Should those sidewalks be widened? What types of parking should be available on Main Street? Should the parking go behind? So it's more about how Main Street should function and what types of things will help business owners be more successful down in Main Street than, say, they may be currently.
Honestly, what we're hearing more than anything is about parking. People being concerned about the availability of parking in close proximity to their businesses or their properties, making sure that parking is available so that their patrons feel like it's easy to get to downtown, easy to do business downtown, and just making sure that it is an inviting place to visit relative to having parking available. So, certainly there are a lot of other things that we're working on as well. Parking is genuinely a key issue here. Other things I think have more to do with how can we make downtown a more inviting place for people to stay at or stay in. Different ways to beautify it, just make it a more comfortable place maybe to walk around in and to spend time in. So you can notice from some of the images that we have on the boards that the consultants prepared, they've gone to significant lengths to make sure that we're studying really the aesthetic side of Main Street as much as some of the other more functional types of things. The Utah Transit Authority is one of the partners on this project, and from my perspective, really it's a matter of making sure that transit is provided in the right place as much as anything in Spanish Fork. And typically when you have a vibrant urban transportation corridor, transit in some form is available in that corridor. Today, for the most part in Spanish Fork, that's not the case. So I think we have a couple of different opportunities working with UTA here. First, to identify long-term what some of their better options might be to provide service to Spanish Fork than what exists today, and then also to help make sure we're designing facilities on Main Street itself to make that as realistic and as usable and as easy to do for UTA in the future as we can. There are a number of communities in Utah that we've looked at. For example, Springville just next door. They made some improvements to their Main Street about 12 or 13 years ago. It's a very similar situation to us in that their Main Street is also owned and operated by UDOT. It's a state highway. So that's been a good example for us. The consultants that we're working with have looked at a number of other communities as well, some in Utah, some outside of Utah. There are many other communities that have dealt with very similar issues to the ones that we're trying to address today. And in many respects, they've been inventive and clever, and they've come up with very sound solutions and options to address some of the things that we're working to improve here in Spanish Fork. So following some of those examples, I think certainly has merit for us, and I appreciate the work that the consultants have done to help us understand what some of those options are so that we can kind of have a palette to choose from as we decide what we think will work best here in Spanish Fork. This project is all about preparing a plan that the Transit Authority, Spanish Fork, and UDOT all agree upon. And we anticipate having that plan done by the end of the year. And certainly between now and then, we'll see different incremental iterations of that plan developed. We'll share those again with the stakeholders and the public, and get additional public input on them. But I would guess that probably within the next few months, we'll get some draft plans on the project, different ideas and thoughts that will lead up to hopefully something that Spanish Fork City and our other partners on the project can agree upon, so that ultimately, as construction work happens on Main Street in one way or another, everybody's working towards the same goal. Everybody understands what to expect in the future. We probably won't see Main Street overhauled all at once to implement the different things that we'll talk about as part of this project. It'll probably happen, piece by piece, and we think it's really important that we're all on the same page as that happens.